Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and this is Terminally Nerdy. Welcome to another nerdy moment with a game, and today that game is Wolcen, an action RPG released in 2020 after several years in early access and a successful Kickstarter campaign. Wolcen released and has been plagued with bugs and negative reactions pretty much since. Is all the rage warranted though, or is it overblown? Well, let's start with the positives of this game because there are some. First, the game is beautiful, using the Crytek engine to power its visuals. The lighting, the way skills look and feel, the various styles of the armor and the weapons and the terrains and the worlds, it's all amazing. The character models, however, do leave something to be desired in my opinion. The female character model was not even added till after release, and it's very Barbie doll-esque, with very little in the way of actually customizing it. The male is similarly over the top as well. Enemy models are pretty solid, but like many action RPGs, they turn into palette swaps later on down the road. Thankfully, however, the armor sets are amazing, and the game features a very solid transmog system where you can easily customize your armor and your weapons with various dyes and pieces that you've unlocked simply by picking up the items. Also, the game features a fully voice-acted story. In fact, every single piece of dialogue in the game is voice-acted, and it's good voice acting. Each character and NPC has a distinct voice and tone, and they are all fantastic. However, the music feels very Diablo-esque, but at the same time very forgettable. I found myself usually watching YouTube or listening to Spotify instead of paying attention to the background music. And while the sound effects are nice and weighty and really combine well with the visual impact of the skills, they also can feel very just sort of there. However, I will say when a large crowd of enemies explode, it feels real good and sounds real good and looks real good. Sadly, in the parts where it really matters, the gameplay and the story, things fall very short. In fact, let's talk about the story. Sure, in most action RPGs you don't really expect a great story, but I personally at least expect a finished one. And Wolcen was released with 3 acts and no ending. Seriously. The devs have actually said they're working on a 4th act which will feature the ending, but why would you ever push the release of a game without having an actual ending to the story? The story was getting good, but it ends on a cliffhanger. And further, the endgame system where you rebuild the city of Stormfall takes place 6 months after the ending that currently exists in the game, meaning everything that happened in that ending is still unresolved, and no one ever mentions it. And trust me, based on how things ended in Act 3, the whole Stormfall narrative is really confusing. I'm not going to spoil how it ends, however, as it is a major thing. The other major issue here is with the gameplay and the game's stability itself. First, the game has had quite a few bugs involving skills and how they function. These are, however, being patched as fast as the devs seem capable, so there is that. The game itself plays like a cross between Diablo 3 and Path of Exile. Your skills are actually items you pick up or purchase, and are permanent once you've learned them. There are no classes, and you can freely change your skills around even mid-combat if you need to. Further, all skills earn XP, and unlock modifiers similar to Diablo 3's runes that you can add to them. Each skill earns points as it levels, which is how you equip the modifiers. For instance, one skill I used was Plague Burst, and one of the modifiers would cause enemies killed by Plague Burst to come back as little rat minions that would go forth and attack enemies for me. There is a lot of variety here in the options each skill has. For passive skills, you have a tree that looks like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, or very similar to Path of Exile's passive skill tree. A single passive point is gained at each character level, and the nodes can grant things like 10% more health, 5% dodge, or you have slightly larger nodes which are notable for things like you can apply 2 ailment effects at once, or you have 25% chance to dodge a hit that can't occur more than every 10 seconds. You can equip 5 skills at the start at once, 4 for your hotbar, 1 on your right click, and you can't change your left click's function at all, which annoys me. And eventually you can unlock a 5th hotbar button, but you have to do that through Stormfall. There are other bugs too. One that really irritated me was that my summons, I was playing a summoner type build, would not attack the Act 2 final boss at all. In fact, that boss has caused a ton of people issues with how it functions. The biggest thing that ruined the game for me, however, were the crashes. Starting in Act 2, and then going on until I finally stopped trying it about 23 hours into the game, I would crash randomly. I crashed almost every zone at least once, sometimes more than once, and once I got to the in-game system, I crashed literally every time I tried to run an expedition, which is this game's versions of rifts or maps. It's the in-game adventuring system. I would get halfway into an expedition, crash, lose all my progress and all my resources I spent trying to run the thing, and then have to start back over. I tried multiple fixes I found online, lowering all the settings to bare minimum, everything I could think of to at least experience the end game. But alas, after beating Act 3 at the 17-hour mark, the next 6 hours I spent with the game was an endless parade of crashing. There was only one instance where I managed to complete 2 whole expeditions in a row before the third one crashed me. And the thing about the in-game is you have to do these expeditions to rebuild the city. You need to do the expeditions for money and items. You have to do the expeditions for this fake currency called production. Basically, everything at the in-game is tied to the expedition system. You can't go back into the world or revisit any previous areas, in fact. You have to do Stormfall once your character has reached Stormfall. Between the rampant bugs, the crashes, and the unfinished story, I can't recommend this game. And here's the best part. The devs are the ones who gave me a key for this game about 3 years ago. I wanted to wait till now to mention that so you would understand I didn't pay for this game, and I'm very glad I didn't. I would be furious if I had spent $40 on this game in its current state. It's not a release product. It's an early access product and should be marketed as such. However, the devs are calling it a full release, and that's how I'm going to treat it. And as a full release, it is not worth buying even at half price right now. Maybe down the road, once the issues are resolved, it'll be worth your time and money. But right now, with offerings like Torchlight 2, Diablo 3, Path of Exile, and even the early access title Last Epoch, you can find something way more worth your time right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hang around for more videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, stay nerdy, everybody. Catch you later. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and a special thank you to all my patrons who are listed over there on the right hand of the screen. If you want to get your name in those credits, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/terminallynerdy. And hey, be kind to each other and stay nerdy. Thanks.